Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, welcome to our online teaching academy Kalaiva. You are in 12th standard entrepreneurship online classes and you are in unit 3 enterprise marketing, and today we are going to discuss about price. You know, price is such an interesting word, right? And you hear the word price almost every day. Let it be media or at home also, in your household you must be hearing the word price. So you switch on the TV, what you hear is there is a rise in the petrol price, there is a rise in the gold price. You anxiously wait for the news to end to know what is the rise in the gold price, isn't it? There is the fluctuation in the stock market, and because of which the dollar rates have changed, fluctuation in the dollar rate, raise in the dollar rate. And the moment you enter a supermarket, what comes to your mind? You don't you don't go and investigate whether the quality is good or quantity is good, how much is the quantity. No, you immediately go and see the price tag. To a certain extent, the consumption of the product in your house also depends upon the price. So when your parents, you might not be going, your parents when they go to the supermarket or to a vegetable market or other commodities, when they go and buy, what is the first thing they see is price. Based on the price, the commodities will be purchased, isn't it? The cheapest one will be brought to the house, and that day that will be your menu. And it is not only for the essential commodities, it is the same with your other technical products. In case you are going to buy a refrigerator, after 10 years you are buying a refrigerator, minimum 50 shops or makes more than that also, some people, they will go and inquire, compare different models and different varieties, price. Okay, so price is such an important thing in our day-to-day life. Okay, so you can say that is price is the only mix in your product mix, in your marketing mix. You can say price is the only commodity which gives you revenue. Okay, all the other piece like product, promotion and place, that doesn't bring you revenue. Okay, so price brings you revenue. So price is the total value of that particular product. So it's very important that you price your product very carefully. Why? There are a lot of competition outside going on, and if you don't price your product properly, obviously that will lead to your failure. Alright. So price refers to, price refers to the value of that is put on to a product. So price refers to the value that is put on to a product. So price is the only revenue generating element among the 4 P's, the rest being cost center. It depends on, now what all it depends on? It depends on cost of production, cost of production, segment targeted, whom are you targeting, ability of the market to pay, supply demand, and host other direct and indirect factors, host of other direct and indirect factors, right? So it refers to the value that is put on the product. Now there are different ways in which you can price the product. Cost plus pricing, you have penetrating pricing, variable pricing. So here in this class we are going to just discuss about cost plus pricing. Now for example, cost of this pen. So what are the resources I have spent to make this pen? What is the time I have spent to make the pen? So I add that, and along with that I put a profit. Okay, and then that is going to be my selling price. So what are the advantages of using this method of pricing? Methods of pricing. You have cost plus pricing, penetrating pricing, creaming or skimming, and variable pricing. Cost plus pricing. The most common technique is cost plus pricing. The manufacturer charges a price to cover the cost of producing a product plus a reasonable profit. Cost plus pricing is typically based on the manufacturing estimate. Now, actually I gave you an example. Supposing I am making a Maruti car, or I am a textile owner, and the cost of the total cost that is incurred in making a particular textile is around 100 rupees. And like maybe on all my overhead expenses, my advertisement expenses, all the direct indirect expenses, everything I add now. all that has come up to 100 rupees. Then I keep a margin. So I know what is the margin. So I know very clearly what are the expenditures that I have incurred, how much of time I have spent, what are all the raw materials that I have used in making that particular product. Everything I have an idea. So once I have an idea, I can have a total control over the product. I know where there is more expenditure, so I can control that. So that is the advantage, one of the advantages of cost plus pricing. Now at this point, I would like to just speak about Bata. Now Bata's pricing strategies, I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. It's very interesting. Now I remember when I was in my school days, my parents normally they get Bata shoes for me. Why? Because one reason, it is very durable. How much ever I play with it, how much ever I bang, push, nothing will happen to the shoes, and they are very happy. At least for 1 year I don't disturb them. So have you ever gone into the Bata showroom and found out their pricing strategy? It will be 199 rupees. Actually you're paying 200 rupees. So they don't make you realize that you're paying 200 rupees. You have a feeling, okay, it's only 199. It will be 499 and 50 paise. It's actually 500 rupees. But you don't get a feel that you're spending 500 rupees. It's only 400 and something. So that is a very interesting strategy that they adopt, isn't it? So actually Bata is one of the oldest brand in shoes industry, originated from Lausanne, Switzerland, founded in 1894. In 1914, the company had a significant number of orders. Why? Because they were supplying boots for the military, for the army people, okay, during the World War I. And from that point of time, Bata had grown tremendously in the world market. So people, they were very happy with the quality of the shoes which Bata were providing. Hence, resulting in increasing demand of the shoes and related accessories of the brand. So the brand Bata owned lots of other brands acquired with time, and new brands developed for new segments of target. Even now Bata, they have their own factory and they have their own outlet, and they do their own price, they have their own pricing strategy. Alright. So I just quoted this because just to show you one of the leading firms and a product which is still in demand, and they have their own pricing strategy, which the customers are very satisfied. If the customers are satisfied with the product, the customers are satisfied the way it is presented to them, right? Now estimate of the production cost are made. How? Like normally I told you, when you are making a product, you have to give a price for the product that you have made. So totally how much raw material you have spent, and then what is the profit margin you are going to keep, what are all the expenditures that you have incurred, right? So estimate of the production cost are made. Why? Why are they made? To justify planned capital expenditure, determine likely production cost for new or modified products, focus attention on areas of high cost. An estimate of the cost of carrying out a manufacturing process is made from the resources required: material, labor, equipment and time. Advantages of cost plus pricing. So we saw, first thing is we saw cost plus price. Along with the cost, you're going to add all the expenditures and then keep a profit margin. What are the advantages of that? Biggest advantage of this is that the company knows exactly the amount of expenditure that is incurred on making a product, and therefore they can add profit margin accordingly, which helps in achieving the desired revenue for a firm. So you know, I have my total resources, I have spent this around 150 rupees. Along with that, I will add all my expenditure, all my overhead expenditures I will add, and then I will keep a profit margin. Then I will know like how much profit I am going to make, how much is my total expenditure. Fine. Next, it is the simplest method to decide the price for a product, because one has to just add up all the costs and then add a profit which you want to earn, which will give the price for a product. You know how much profit you want to make. Okay, my total cost is 150, and I will say, okay, 25 rupees at least per piece I want a profit. So I add the 25 rupees and I sell the product. Fine. Since the company is using its own data for deciding the cost, which makes it easier for a company to evaluate the reasons for escalations in expenses, and therefore it can take corrective actions immediately. Now it can correct immediately. Now supposing it has made a mistake, the company has made a mistake, he can correct immediately. He finds that, okay, this particular area I am spending more, this machinery is costing me more, the number of labor hours I am spending on this particular machinery is more. I can correct it because it is all internal. Okay, I can know this machinery is working for 8 hours and it has produced around 1000 thing, for example, pen. And then the total labor I am spending is this, my electricity and other expenditure is etc, etc. So that I can easily, you know, like I can examine which area I have spent more money. Okay, and then I can rectify it accordingly. Now, disadvantages of cost plus pricing. This measure does not take into account the future demand for a product, which should be the base for before deciding on the price of the product, and therefore a serious limitation of this method. Now, in future, if my product is in demand, I don't know whether my product will be in demand. If at all it is there's going to be a big demand for the product. Like how am I supposed to price? Now that I calculated the total cost, along with that I added my profit, and then I am selling it. And this method ignores that. So there will be a problem in future. So that is a big disadvantage. Fine. This also doesn't take into account the competitor's action and their effect on the price of the product. So because in today's competitive world, if one solely depends on cost plus pricing, it can lead to failure of the company's product in the market. Now here you have to keep in mind the competitors. Now if you go to a supermarket and if you want to buy soap, you will see the number of companies soaps that have been displayed, isn't it? You have Lux, you have Hammam, you have Liril, you have La, you have name it, you have so many number of soaps, and that means there is a lot of competition. So you should keep your eyes open and see how you are supposed to price your product, right? And here in this thing, they don't take into consideration the competitor's action. So you have to even anticipate that and then price the product. Here in this strategy, we don't, we actually ignore it. So that is another disadvantage. It can result in the companies overestimating the price, because you are calculating the cost, you are going to you are adding your own profit, how this much profit I should make. Maybe when you are doing it, you are overestimating the price of a product. And because this method includes sunk cost and ignores opportunity cost. What is sunk cost? Sunk cost is a cost that you would have, that you're not going to get back. Okay, like expenditures that you have incurred on research and development, or you have replaced a pipeline, or you have replaced a machinery. All these expenditures is not going to come back, isn't it? So that is sunk cost. So that is actually ignored here. And then your opportunity cost, in case if you have not invested in this particular product, and if you had invested in elsewhere, what profit you would have earned. Okay, now instead of like you know, you have discontinued your job and you have resigned your job and you have started attending some course, or you have started going to college, and because of that you would have lost some 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs revenue. Likewise, if you had invested in some other product, what profit you would have got. So opportunity cost. So it ignores opportunity cost. And also, while calculating cost, there is an element of personal bias while deciding the profit, because you are doing the entire thing, isn't it? You are calculating the cost, you are calculating your total resources, you are calculating your total time, you are keeping a margin. So where there is a personal bias while deciding the profit margin, which is to be added to the product. Fine. So price plays a very important role in the success of your product. You have to be very careful while pricing, because once a customer feels your product is very costly, or if he feels that the quantity is not up to the pricing, like you know, they're charging more and the quality and the quantity that you give is very less. So they should not have a feel. Or normally, you know, customers, they want to spend 10 rupees but want to take the benefit of 15 rupees. So you have to keep that in mind. Fine. So this is one type of pricing strategy that you have learned. In the next class, we will see the next type, which is penetrating pricing, and then you have variable pricing. Okay, all that we will see in the next class. Now, I want to give you an example. A shirt manufacturer may arrive at the selling price on the basis of the following. So, estimated cost of the cloth, and then estimated cost of the labor, 12 rupees. Estimated cost of overheads, 8 rupees. So, cost of the cloth 70, cost of the labor 12, and then you have estimated cost of, that is overhead expenses, 8 rupees. And then you are going to add a profit of 20% on it. So, 70 plus 12 plus 8 is what, 90 rupees, and 20% of this is your profit, which is 18 rupees. Your profit is 18 rupees you're going to add. So this is your total cost, 19 plus 18, which is 108. Fine. I hope you understood, children. Okay, thank you, children. We'll see you in the next class with other strategies of pricing. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you, children.